Empathetic people, kind people, chosen ones, light workers, etc. Understand that boundaries are your best friend. And understand that because most likely you grew up in the role of scapegoat and or lost child, then a part of you is used to people crossing your boundaries, because the first people that crossed your boundaries were your parental figures. Maternal figures, paternal figures. You could have been raised by your aunts, uncles, you grew up in a foster home, etc. Whoever those parental figures are. Doesn't have to be blood related. So understand that as an adult, now you have to learn how to assert your boundaries. Now, boundaries could be emotional, mental, physical, sexual, etc. That I will cover in another video. But in today's video more so, I'm going to be talking about how to interact with people in day-to-day life. Because understand that on your healing journey, narcissists still exist. So you could have left a narcissist in an intimate setting, or maybe you ended a relationship with a narcissistic friend, for example. But narcissists still exist. And they actually outnumber you. I did a previous video where I mentioned that Earth is 85% dark. Understand that empathetic people are a minority. So understand that you should not be projecting your consciousness onto anyone that you are interacting with, because most of those people are going to be closer to that narcissism spectrum than they are to the empathy spectrum. Earth is 85% dark. That's just a fact. And with this, you should not fear people. You should really understand what you're dealing with, right? With this comes acceptance. This is how people are. Earth is 85% dark. Most people that you encounter, again, that 85%, they're going to be closer to that narcissism spectrum, that self-centered spectrum, that user spectrum. They come to use you for your resources. So how do you deal with narcissists in everyday life? So let's say you're at the shops, you're at the supermarket, you're at the gas station, even in the work world. Oftentimes you'll see where chosen ones have a very difficult time in the workforce because people will try to test you. They hate your light. Again, Earth is 85% dark. The people that are stuck in darkness especially hate your light, hate your confidence, hate your smile. They hate your inner peace that you have. And they can see this because a lot of them are predatory in nature. However, again, with this comes understanding and acceptance, not fear. You should not fear these individuals. They themselves are stuck in fear, which is why they act out and they lash out, because they don't like fear. So the next best emotion that they can feel is anger. And they don't know what to do with this anger, so they must project this on you. Again, these people are not really self-reflecting. Earth is 85% dark. So how do you deal with narcissists in your day-to-day life? So let's say you're at the supermarket and somebody is messing with you. So it could be, could be the cashier, could just be someone in the line, or maybe you're going through the different aisles and someone wants to mess with you. Understand that it is important that you learn how to stand your ground. Narcissists aren't going anywhere. They really are like cockroaches, where you see one, there's probably a nest somewhere that they're all hiding. And this is why they gang stalk people. They'll team up against someone else in abuse, because understand that when it takes one of you, they need like 10 of them. This is why they gang stalk. I'll cover gang stalking in another video. But let's say you're out and about and someone is messing with you. Let's say they make a snide comment, and do not allow people to make snide comments about you. If someone walks up to you, they can say hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night with pleasantness. So I'm actually going to change this scenario. Let's say you're dealing with narcissists in a familial setting, because a lot of these are the covert ones that really do not like you. They envy you, and they'll get close to you to spread their disgust and disdain because you're filled with hate. So let's say you have a narcissistic cousin, for example, and every time this cousin encounters you, they have a snide remark. You know, those remarks that they play off as a joke, but your gut tells you that it is not. It's not. Right? This is what we call negging. Negging is when someone makes a comment under the guise of a compliment, but it is actually an insult. Narcissists are very passive aggressive. So let's say you encounter this relative, for example, and they make a snide remark about the shoes that you are wearing. You know, let's say they say something like, "Oh, those are last season."
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that?
Because narcissists are people that like to keep up with the Joneses. Again, they like to keep up appearance because they have very low self-esteem. They need attention from other people. So when you're in a situation like this, do not candy coat your words. And oftentimes, empathetic people, kind people, light workers, starseeds, we're not very confrontational people because we don't like conflict. Unnecessary conflict, that is. However, in this particular scenario, do not candy coat your words. Go ahead and say whatever it is that you're thinking. And oftentimes, I think it's very good to pause when you're dealing with narcissistic individuals. Go ahead and give them a 5-second pause and just look at them. Go ahead and discern, scan them and feel the energy, feel the energetic vibration that they are actually in. They're actually very anxious people, very fearful people. And again, understand that when an animal, if you corner a scared dog, for example, the next best emotion that dog can get to is anger, right? Because anger feels better than fear. They feel more powerful in anger than they do in fear. So just go ahead and sit and just go ahead and look at them. Give them a 5-second pause and just look at them. And say whatever it is that comes to your mind. For example, in the scenario with the shoes, you could go ahead and pretty much say point blank, understand that the next time that you see me, you either give me a compliment or you don't. If you don't have anything kind to say, then don't. Besides that, you could very well go ahead and tell this relative to fuck off. Don't believe that you have to be kind to unkind people. Additionally, you could say, listen, I don't know what kind of trauma that you have went through in your life for you to believe that that is acceptable behavior. I think you need a timeout. You should go sit down somewhere far away. Go ahead and tell that relative whatever it is that is on your mind. Do not allow people to cross your boundaries. Don't candy coat what you're saying. There are some instances when you're in a work environment and you have to be mindful of your words. Sure. But other times, go ahead and say whatever it is that is on your mind. Just like the person that is provoking you. Just like the adult bully. They're just like the bullies on playgrounds. These adult bullies got to adulthood and they're abusers. Bullies are abusers. That is exactly what you're dealing with. Low self-esteem individuals that believe that they must abuse others to feel better about their pathetic lives. They actually believe that they are pathetic, which is why they try to project this off onto you. All right? This is why they try to guilt trip you and dump their shame onto you because they're not self-reflecting. They're not working on themselves. So they want to drag you down with them like the proverbial crab in the barrel. Empathetic people, kind people, light workers, starseeds, understand that it is of the vital importance that you learn how to stand your ground. No individual, no human on planet Earth, and there are 8 billion people on planet Earth, has the authority to abuse you. So while you may have grown up in a situation like this, because again, most of us grew up in dysfunctional family systems where we were the scapegoat or the lost child, as an adult, you do not tolerate inappropriate behavior. Go ahead and address it. Say whatever it is that comes to your mind. The person that is provoking you, that is attacking you, is doing exactly that. Don't let anybody on this planet fuck with you.
Congratulations. You played yourself.